Start recording.
Start recording. Button. Shut up, Siri. Damn, let everybody know I'm blind. Damn. Hey everybody, I'm back with another video. Back again. Back to back, made back stack to M. I'm back again. I'm I'm doing like a series of videos right now. Um, just things, that I want to talk about. I was supposed to do. I'm sorry, I got like water around my mouth. I was supposed to do like a music review about like the music that I'm like really loving right now, and I'm still gonna do that video. I'm gonna do that video after this video, but my spirit has just moved me to do a little story time about like why I stopped having sex and my little journey that I've gone on with finding who I am and things of that nature. And I thought it would be a cool little story time because people need to hear like the real and to hear like different stories about different things and just to know that life isn't all about one thing. So, and that's something that I had to learn um along my journey also of finding myself. Like this I have really kind of found myself and I'm loving it. I love it. I love where my life is now. I wish I would have known these things back then, but everything's a learning lesson. So the story time's about like why I stopped having sex and finding myself. So I stopped having sex about 4 years ago. And it was a personal decision that I made because I found myself having sex for the wrong reasons. I was not in love with any of these people. We liked each other enough to fuck, but that was about it. And at that age, I had started to realize I needed more than just the physical. I needed more than just the physical. I needed the emotional. I needed the special contact. Like I just needed it. I didn't need it more. I just realized I needed more. And honestly, I started like my little journey like that. Back when I was in high school, I got my heart broken by like somebody I really loved. Like I'm not gonna bring up any names or anything like that because it's not important. Um, but I got my heart broken in high school by somebody I really loved. I really trusted. I spent a bulk of like my childhood, my middle school years, high school. I spent a bulk of time with this person. Um, I really loved this person. Everyone around us knew that we loved each other. Whether they knew it was like deeper than just friends or not, everyone knew we loved each other. It was apparent. It was obvious. We hung out with each other. We were like best friends. Like even in high school, like we hung out and stuff. Even though our relationship was a little deeper than just friends. And I got my heart broken like really bad, and it sent me into like a little depression for a while because I not only lost like a lover, I lost a friend. Like that's the worst part. Like losing the friend, losing the friendship. Like you don't really care about like the relationship per say. It's more so the friendship. Like you don't just lose like a lover, you lose your friend, and that's what happened. Like I lost my friend too. Um, we're cool today. I haven't spoken to him in probably like a year, like 2 years. I haven't seen him or spoken to him in like 2 years. Not because any bad blood or anything. It's just life. I have a life. He has a life. We're cool. We eventually became friends again, and sort kind of sorted out our differences, and it was good. It really was good. I loved him. I still love him to this day. But he started the savagery that I went through, all the witchcraft and savagery that I um, went through. Um, During that time when I got my heart broken, Rihanna had just got assaulted by Chris Brown, and she made the album Rated R, which was the album to my life at that time. It was the album to my life, the soundtrack to my soul. Like, it was my life, like, in music form. Like, every song on that fucking album spoke to my life. Like, my favorite song on that album is called Cold Case Love, and it explains how love could, like, really be like a crime scene. Like, it can really get nasty and ugly, and it can become a crime scene. I love the wordplay and everything in that song. That song got me through uh, a really hard period in my life, especially being young. I wasn't even 18 yet. So, I was really young, really impressionable, and it took me from being like this colorful, bubbly person. Because if anyone, any of my subscribers or my people who watch me on here know me from like middle school, high school, know that I was very colorful, always very bubbly, wore a lot of colors. I was into the whole color scheme thing because I'm an artist, so I like understand art and color and stuff. So I would, put together like the weirdest color schemes where it would work. I understood color and stuff of that nature. So I was very colorful, very fashion forward, very ahead of my time. I was very weird, as they would say. I just felt like I was ahead of my time, very unique when it came to fashion. I was doing it at a time where it wasn't cool to be different. You kind of, everyone then just kind of wants to fit in and look the same, and I was very defiant. I was a rebel. I didn't want to look like everyone else. I didn't want to dress like everyone else. I didn't want to speak like everyone else. So I did my own thing. I made my own clothes, and it was a lot of things I did, and I'm proud of that. I can look back on that and be proud of that. But when I went through my little depression with getting my heart broken, I felt ugly. I never felt handsome. I never felt like I was worthy. I wasn't one of those kids that your parents told you like, oh, I love you and you're beautiful. I never heard those things. So I grew up thinking I was ugly because that's what people would say. People were like, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, you're weird, you're a fag. All those, adjectives that they use to describe me. And when you're a kid, when you're a kid, you're impressionable. Those things stick with you for a long time. And like I said, I was always called fat and ugly, and you're a fag, and you're this, and you're that, you're black, and you're too dark, and you're too dark skinned to do that, you're too fat to do this, you're too, I always felt that way, and I carried that for a very long time with me. And it scarred me. It was very traumatic of going through those type of things, which also added to the witchcraft and savagery that came along with the things that I did. So moving along, I started having sex, and my first time was like, it was cool. It was with somebody like I had known him for a little bit. He didn't believe that I was a virgin because he just couldn't believe that there were actually, boys out there that were gay that were still virgins and stuff like that, or someone my age. I was 19, still a virgin. Like, people be popping their pussy, real early, 10, 9, 8, things like that. I heard, don't look at me like that, sister, because I know people. I won't call any names, but I definitely know people. Shout out to my whole friends. I started having sex. My first time was amazing. Like, it was really amazing. He really like took his time, and he was real cool with it. And when he was trying to go in, I guess he realized, like, he was like, damn, you really are a virgin. I'm like, yeah, I'm really a virgin, and yeah, that kind of hurts. But I'm a bad bitch that twerks. I'm kidding. I'm not a punk ass bitch, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. That G Wagon was real big, had like a curve. It was real pretty. It was real pretty. He was a cool guy. He was older. Um, which he made me attracted to older guys because he was very cool, very suave, very smooth talking. Like he was just a good guy. He was a good guy to me. Like maybe not to other people, but he was a good guy to me. So that happened, and once I realized, like he may have liked me and thought I was cool, but he was never going to be with me or be my boyfriend. And once I kind of got in my head like, okay, these niggas are never going to like be my boyfriend because A, they're trade, B, like they're never gonna come out. Like these niggas not gonna come out. So I had configured my brain to these niggas never gonna be with me. So I went on a spree. I went on a little spree. And I had fun while doing it. But again, I always felt ugly and I felt like I wasn't worthy and stuff like that. So, but I got all the niggas that I wanted. Like any nigga that I wanted, I got him. And I didn't have to pay for it or beg for it or, do anything extravagant for it. I just, walked around like I was a bad bitch, which I was. Kept myself up, stayed out of the drama and the blase of, the world. And that attracted boys to me, especially trade boys. Gay boys don't really like me. Like, they don't really like, out gay boys don't really like me. But the trade boys, hey, any trade boys out there, and you boys don't know what trade boys is, that means that you're straight. To the world and things of that nature. You date girls and things of that nature. That's trade. Shout out to the trade boys who overlive for a bitch like me. But moving on, because I could get into some things, but I'll get into that in another video. I ain't gonna get into a lot of things here, but I could get into a few little things. Like, trade boys would always tell me, like, you so different. I don't know why I'm attracted to you, and I don't like niggas, and I ain't gay, but it's something about you, my baby. Like, it's something about. They used to get that little voice, like, baby, it's something about you. Like, I don't even like niggas, man. I ain't gay, but like, it's something about you, little baby, that made my dick hard. And that shit empowered me. Like, I felt like that bitch. Like, I felt like that bitch. I was like, ooh, bitch. Some of you girls out here thinking y'all real fish and thinking y'all sickening, and y'all not, honey. Like, I'm sickening, but I ain't got to out here be pretending like trying to look like a girl and doing all these things. Like, I wore hair and stuff like that, but I wasn't wearing makeup or anything like that this time. I was just wearing hair because I was a hairstylist. So, I was wearing hair and stuff. So, wearing weave and stuff. I didn't have to do all the things that the girls would do to, like, get the that they thought they had to do to get the attention of these straight, quote unquote, straight boys, or our cisgendered men. And I felt empowered. I felt like a bad bitch. I was getting boys that people like, don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. He don't like gay boys. Like, bitch, I was up somewhere and bitch, he got all, like, I never experienced that as far as like boys like trying to attack me because I was gay or anything like that, especially in my hometown. I used to walk through that bitch like I owned that bitch, and everybody overlived for me, like, in my hometown. So I didn't experience that. I experienced boys, like, saying things, oh, look at them fucking faggots and shit like that, but nobody never tried to attack me or any of those things because the boys, like, they overlived for me. Like, the trade boys, they overlived for me. So, but yeah, like, boys would tell me that stuff like that, and that shit empowered me. Like, it really did. So I just kind of continue that. I didn't give a fuck about like having a boyfriend or anything like that. I didn't care about real love. It was just like that temporary. He loved me. Lie to me, like basically lie to me. Tell me you love me just to get my pussy. Like tell me you love me. Tell me you care about me and you really don't. Like it was that type of thing, and I was okay with that for a while. Like I was okay with just sex. I was okay with not having like a real connection. We would connect and be friends and talk about certain things, but it would all lead to sex. And the end game was sex. So I was okay with that for a long time. Along the way, I did have two boyfriends that I cared deeply about. There were boys that I cared about and I felt cared about me, but it's always a thin line between love and hate. And my one boyfriend, Bougie, I loved him. I know he loves me back. Like, there was no shadow of a doubt about it. We're still friends to this day. I love him. Even though we're not together. And he's getting married, and congratulations to him and his fiance. I'm so super happy for him because he's a super good guy and he's gonna be a super great husband to his fiance, and I'm really happy for him. But he was one of my boyfriends that I really loved and I knew loved me. And it started off as a friendship, and it developed, and he was out gay. Well, he wasn't out at the time, but then, eventually he came out. Um, but when I met him, he wasn't out. I met him at a friend's house, and I saw, like, I walked into her house, and this light skin, I mean, gorgeous man was sitting, and he was chubby, he was cute, like he was like a fucking teddy bear. He was so fucking adorable. Like, oh my god, I was like, oh my god, this boy is so fine. And he was fine. Ooh, Bougie, you were fine. And we developed a friendship. We started talking on the phone. We started texting. We had lost contact for a little bit, but then we got back in contact, and then we started dating. He was in a relationship when I like re-met up with him, but he ended that for me. Like, he ended that whole thing for me, even though I felt like he was still dipping and dabbing back into that boy's pond. But that's neither here nor there. That doesn't have anything to do with me, because I was also dipping probably. Should I admit this on camera? I was also dipping my toe in a different pond also. But we worked for a long time. I loved him and I still love him. My second boyfriend, Nick, we got together very unconventionally. He actually like wanted to date my brother, and my brother, they talked, but my brother he was in a different space then, and he wasn't really looking for a man. And me and Nick became friends, and then it became more than that. I think I fell for him but first, and honestly, I'm gonna dive into that relationship. I fell for him, and I feel like he didn't like me in that way. But since we were friends, and he loved me, like, as a friend, he kind of went along with a lot of things. And I found myself very heartbroken and very not fulfilled in that relationship space with him. He cheated, I cheated. It was a whole bunch of shit like going on. And then we were like unofficial for a long time, like a long time. And then we made it official like once we moved out of our little situation that we were in, because we lived in the same house for a while. And then when that situation came crumbling down, we separated, but we still talked on the phone, and we tried to move to Tallahassee together. We cried together. We me and that boy went through a lot of stuff together. He taught me a lot about life. He taught me a lot about like relationships and moving too fast and staying in something longer than you were supposed to, because you'll end up ruining something like a friendship. And that ended up what happened, like we kind of ended up ruining our friendship, or even a chance at a friendship, because there was so much hurt and pain there in that situation. You just sometimes you just can't let things go right away. And I love him. I will always love him. I always felt like he was my soulmate. And that was a really hard breakup. That was a really hard period in my, and it lasted a long time with Nicholas, and that added to my witchcraft and savagery. Also because after him, I just was like, fuck love, blah blah blah, fuck all this love. I just fuck these niggas and treat these niggas like hoes, and that's what I did. After that, I went on another spree, like a spree. I had like a little situation with this one boy for about a year and a half, and it was fun. The sex was good. He was cool people. We hung out. I met his son. Who it was a lot. Like that was a lot, but that ended because he felt like, he wanted to raise his son. He didn't want to raise his son like that, but you had no problem with busting me down. Whatever. And that also added to the witchcraft and savagery. Like that, all these life experiences with these boys led to my life of like just savagery. And I used my little charm of being different. Once again, I used my charm of being different and being, different from the crowd to get what I want. And I did. I got everything I wanted. And in between that time, I talked to boys and stuff like that. But it was very savagery. Like everything was like savage. Like I talked to them, I made them feel like I loved them, and I make them feel like I liked them and stuff like that. And it was a couple people that it happened to. But then, you guys, one day I told y'all I went and got me a little piece from my meal that I was fucking with at the time. A little Puerto Rican snack of a meal. Like, he was a meal, honey. He gave me something that I could feel. And after that, I just was like, I woke up one day and I cried. And I cried. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm out here doing this shit. Like, these niggas don't really fucking love me. I need more. And the more I became a savage, the more it became apparent that I needed more than just sex. And I needed more. I needed the emotional support. I needed the emotional as well as the physical. I wanted a boyfriend. I wanted love. I wanted all the things that come with being in a beautiful relationship that I used to see my friends in, and being in a beautiful relationship and being in love. And it not always being peaches and cream, walk in the park, eat an apple, but they were in love and they had a partner to go home to at night. Meanwhile, I was just out here, thotting and bopping, and didn't have nobody to go home to. Like, the love that I was feeling was temporary. And for so many people, we find comfort in sex, and we can't find that temporary love that feels like love, but it's really not love. It's just like a perfect illusion of what we think love is, because it's temporary. You go there, you have sex with that person, you feel love for those 20 minutes, and then you go home and you're alone. You're still alone, and you end up breaking yourself and breaking yourself and breaking yourself, and that's what happened. After that day I had sex with that boy, I just realized I needed love. I'm a Pisces. I'm a lover. I love people. I love people down. Like, I love people boots. And I wasn't getting that love. Like, I was just getting the physical. I was getting the sex. I was getting their body. But I wanted not only their body, I wanted their mind, body, and spirit. Like, I wanted the connection. I wanted the love. I wanted the companionship, the partnership. And I wasn't getting that. I was in a situation with another guy after that, because we had gotten into a situation, and he had a girlfriend and stuff like that. I knew. I knew he had a girlfriend and stuff like that, and I ended up falling for him. Like I ended up really falling for him. I ended up like liking him. I ended up even trying to like break it off with him, which he thought was hilarious. And I ended up trying to break it off with him because I was just like, I just need more. Like this isn't going to go anywhere. And he was just like, I can't offer you more. Like I just physically can't offer you a relationship or anything like that. I could just basically he was just like, I just offer you my G wagon, but I can't offer you my love. Like I knew he loved me. I knew he cared about me. I knew we were friends and we would talk. And I mean, we would talk for hours and hours and hours about like miscellaneous things. And I just fell for him. And honestly, I kind of felt like he kind of fell for me too because we both like fell back, like real like fell back because it was a lot. And but I just needed more, and I stopped having sex. I wasn't doing anything with him. I just stopped having sex because I was like, the next person I have sex with, I'm gonna have a real connection with. I'm gonna love them, and they're gonna love me, and we're gonna be in a relationship. And we're gonna be boyfriends or whatever the fuck that shit, whatever the fuck. The moral to this story is like, sex is temporary. Yes, sex is a connection and all of that jazz, but it doesn't get you anything in the end. Like sex gets you temporary love. It gets you temporary everything. It's temporary ecstasy. It doesn't last forever. Sex doesn't last forever. The longest sex lasts is what, 30 minutes. If you got somebody who lasts longer than 30 minutes, either they're a maniac or your pussy's not good. And or both. But yeah, like love, know your worth. Know your worth more. Along my journey, I met people that made me feel beautiful. And then I started to believe that I was beautiful. I started to believe that I was important. Because for so long, I felt unimportant. For so long, I felt like I wasn't worthy. And then I met people that made me feel like you're beautiful. I got told you're beautiful. Like you're a beautiful person. You're handsome. I never had people tell me I was handsome. Not my mom, not my dad, not people in my family, anybody. It was people on the outside that told me, AJ, you're handsome. Denim, you're handsome. You're handsome. You're loving. You're a great person. And I never felt that way. And then eventually, with people telling me that, I started to feel that way. Know your worth. Know your worth more. Learn that you are more. You're bigger than just sex. You're worth someone loving and caring about and doing all those things. And I learned that I went on this journey 4 years ago when I stopped having sex, and I learned myself. I learned to love myself unconditionally. Like bad things happen along the way, the health things, the sight. I lost my sight and stuff like that. But along the way, I learned so much about myself. I really started to love me and know who I was as a person. Know that I found my purpose. I didn't have really know my purpose, and I used to always ask, "What's my purpose?" I did hair, I did fashion, I did this and I did that, but I always felt like that wasn't my purpose. And I say all that to say this: I found my purpose along my journey. I found that I'm a really good listener. I've experienced a lot of things in life that I could help someone else through a tough time, and I can use my experiences that I experienced either directly or indirectly through someone else, and I can help people. And that's what I learned along my journey of finding myself and loving myself. And, I just stopped giving myself away because I want to feel love. I never felt love. I never felt like I was loved by anybody in my family. I never felt like I was loved. You know, I know your parents love you, but sometimes you need to hear, baby, I love you. Son, I love you. Handsome, I love you. You're handsome, you're beautiful. That's why now today My male cousins, my female little cousin, I always tell them you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're handsome, you're this, you're smart, you're intelligent, you can do it. Because I never was told those things, and I feel like it's my responsibility to tell them so they don't go out in the world and make those same mistakes that I did, looking for love in all the wrong places. And I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I found that love in the wrong place, and it wasn't love. It was a perfect illusion of what I thought love was. Because, like I said, sex is temporary. It doesn't last. Like, it doesn't last. Like, sex is just sex. You do catch feelings a little bit when you're having sex, because no matter what, like, even if it's a one night stand, you made a connection with that person. You were inside of that person. You guys became one. Shout out to T.S. Madison. Everyone knows I love T.S. Madison to death. You becomes one. And that shit's temporary. So if you have someone in your life that's a little different, or even if it's you and you're a little different, you feel outcast, know that you're loved and you're beautiful, and someone will love you. You don't have to give yourself away to X amount of men and become worthless physically as you feel. Like, you don't want to become like, if you're a trophy, you don't want to become like a worthless trophy. Everyone's had you, you've been passed around, blah blah blah. You don't want to do that. You don't want your body count ahead of the years that you've been on this earth. If you're 28, and not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not judging anyone whose, body count is that, but I'm saying other people will judge you. There's other people judging you. And those are the people that you stay away from, honestly. But other people will judge you. You just don't want to become a worthless trophy, or someone that everybody's like, yeah, I fucked. The sex was on. Yeah, I had him. And then before you know it, a whole group of friends have had sex with you, and now they discuss you in a group message. Like, you don't want that. And I've been in a situation where there was somebody who was having sex with everybody in my circle, and they used to talk about it, and it's crazy. There's a couple y'all niggas out there. I ain't gonna call no names, but there's a couple y'all niggas out there that's been in a couple of our group messages, and because my circle has had sex with you, and it's crazy. But I say all this to say I told this little story about my journey because I just want people out there who feel disengaged and not loved and not worthy of someone's love. You are. You're beautiful. You're blessed. You are bigger. Someone loves you. People love you. Love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love someone else. So you have to first love yourself and find yourself. Go on a journey. Find yourself. Do what you got to do. Move out the country. Move away from family. Move away from friends. Go and explore and find yourself, and come back and regroup. Like, you have to do what you got to do to find who you are. I have done that. I have kind of found my inner peace in my life right now. I don't live in the past, the painful past. I don't live in the anxiety of the future. I live in the present. What makes me happy at that moment. Whatever makes me happy at that moment, that's what I'm doing. And I want you guys to know that you're loved, you're beautiful, someone loves you, I love you. I love everybody, and to you, even if you do something bad to me, I still love you. Like my group of people who I thought were my friends, I still love them. That's why it hurts, because I love them, that I had to cut them off and not fuck with them ever again in life. But it's cool. You can still love people from a distance. And just know you're loved. Just know someone loves you. Know that you're worth it. You're worthy. Know your worth. You're beautiful. Don't give yourself away to these guys who are just kind of out there for a nut. Just find you someone who loves you. Someone out there is gonna love you. Trust me, you're gonna find that person. Everyone has someone out there who loves them. And make sure you tell people in your family that they're beautiful. If you have children, tell them they're beautiful. Tell them that they're important. Tell them that they can do whatever they set their mind to. tell them that. Let them know that you care. Let them know that they're important. And life will be much easier for you and for everybody. And this is my story. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to make another video about a situation that one of my friends is in. I know I said that in my last video, but my spirit moves me to talk about this video, and I'm really happy that I got to do it and, you know, let you guys in a little bit on, like, my life and, you know, things that I've been through and love and stuff. And I'll make more videos and get into more depth with stuff. But for now, see you guys later. Remember, love yourself, love the skin you're in, and remember, I'm your favorite blind person. And love yourself, love your kids, love everybody, and yeah, love you guys. Bye. Stop recording.